بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء المرسلين محمد وأهل بيت الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين سيما الإمام المنتظر الحجة الثاني عشر روحي روح العالمين لتراب مقدمي الفداء أما بعد فقد قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتابه المجيد والفرقان الحميد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ربي زدني علما صدق الله العلي العظيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, hope everyone is well and Eid Zahra Mubarak to everyone as well. Can everyone hear me?
Khair Mubarak, yes, we can hear you.
Right, now just a recap from last lesson. Last lesson we were doing the verbs and we were speaking about the verbs that every verb or all verbs in the Arabic language, they have three states: halatur marfu, mansub, and majzoom. So all verbs, present tense verbs, when they are in its original state, which is called halatul marfu, mim, ra, fa, ain, waw, noon, marfu. What happens is that huwa, hiya, he, anta, ana, and nahnu, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. These verbs, when they're in its original state, meaning they're not being preceded by any particle, in the present tense, the last letter will get a dhamma. Okay, is this clear so far? So huwa yaktubu, hiya taktubu, anta taktubu, ana aktubu, nahnu naktubu. You can see the last letters are receiving a dhamma. And in the tathniya, in the dual, the alif in yaktubani, taktubani, taktubani, antuma taktubani. Here, the noon with the kas, the alif itself is the sign of dual, two people, and the noon with the kasra is being added to the present tense verb dual to symbolize. This noon with a kasra is representing that the present tense verb is in its original state. Okay, and then in hum yaktubuna, the waw which is added is waw al jama'a, which indicates upon plural. And the noon with the fatha, this noon is representing and demonstrating that this present tense verb is in its original state. It has not been preceded by anything which will change its positioning of the verb itself. And then in form number 6, hunna yaktubna, this noon here is called noonun niswa. Noonun niswa, noon for representing, this is plural for ladies, and this does not change. This remains as it is wherever it comes. So this noon itself comes because this noon is not a sign of showing that the present tense is in its original state, but it's a sign of plural. That's the reason why this noon remains. And then in taktubu, the dhamma,
feminine plural.
Yes, feminine plural, correct. And then anta taktubu, the dhamma is showing that the verb is in its present tense. in taktubani, the alif is the sign of muthanna, dual. The noon with the kasra, it's showing that the present tense is in original form. So in the singulars, you have the dhamma, and in the dual, you have the noon with the kasra, and in the plural, taktubuna, you have the noon with the fatha. Okay? And in taktub, anti taktubina, this noon has been joined with a singular feminine, you one female. So here, the ya in taktubina, this ya is in place, is a pronoun which is representing ya for female. One singular, second person female. And in antuma taktubani, alif is a sign of dual, and the noon with a kasra is a sign of dual. And then in taktubna, like hunna, yaktubna, antunna taktubna, this noon with a fatha is the sign of feminine plural for second person. And that's the reason why this noon is not symbolizing the showing. So it does not change. Regardless, as I mentioned last week, the present tense verb has three states: raf, halatul marfu, halatul mansub, and halatul majzoom.
Majzoom.
So halatul nasab or mansub is when the singular verb takes a fatha. When does it take a fatha? When it is preceded by some particles like lan, lam, noon, lan. When lan comes, it gives the meaning of future negation, never. And the other one, which is halatul majzoom, singular verb gets a sukoon, like lam yalid or lam yaktub. He did not write. So it changes the past present tense to past tense. Lam yaktub is he did not write. And then ana aktubu, I am writing. Nahnu naktubu, we are writing. So here in these two, the dhamma is visible. Is this clear so far? Mr. Taj, is this clear for you as well?
Yes.
Mr. Farida, is that clear for you?
Sheikh, I'm still digesting it.
Okay,
Assalamualaikum,
just
Sheikh.
remember.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm still understanding it. Yeah.
Okay, just remember this. This column here, the conjugation of the present tense. So yaktubani, yaktubuna, taktubu, taktubani. So this column here, these noons are coming to demonstrate that the present tense verb is in its original state. Now, let me explain something else as well. Let me explain something else. So how now, this will make things clear for you. The word Muslimun. What is the plural of, let's say, two Muslim ladies? Does anyone know?
Muslimani.
Musliman. Correct. Muslimun, Muslimani, Muslimuna. Now, the difference between the plural for the dual of a noun and the dual of a verb for present tense are only explain the difference. With a noun, listen to this carefully. With a noun, the alif and the noon with the kasra, Muslimani, the alif and the noon with the kasra, both of them is the sign of dual with a noun. When it comes with a noun, the alif and the noon with a kasra is the sign of dual for a noun. When you do verbs, it's not the same. So when you want to say, so the noun is only added in the present tense verb. And this noon is not the sign of dual. It's only the alif with the verbs. It's only the alif with the verbs, which shows that this is a dual verb, not the noon with a kasra. Is this clear now? With the verbs, Muslimani, the alif and the noon, both of them together is the sign of dual, and to show that the verb is in its original state. There's two things. Muslimani, one second, Muslimani is two Muslim ladies, or two Muslim boys. And both of them, alif and the noon, with a kasra, is a sign of dual. And it's also the sign of showing that the present, this dual is in its original state. As you know, the noun has three states, yes? The noun has three states. What are the three states? Halatul raf, halatul nasb, and halatul
Just.
jar. Jar.
Jar, majroor. Yeah.
Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. Because if you understand this now, you will master it. Okay. Give me 1 second. Let me just sign into the group.
For two females, it should be Muslimatani.
One second. For two females, Muslimatani. I'll do that in a minute. Just give me 2 seconds.
Yeah. For males, it should be Muslimani, and for females, it should be Muslimatani.
Yes. Give me 2 seconds now.
Sure, sure.
Ja'a. Look at the chat box. Can everyone see?
Yes.
Ja'a Muslimun or Ja'a?
Chat box here at
Zoom, not at WhatsApp.
Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
Ja'a
yeah.
Muslimun and Ja'a Muslima.
Musliman.
Ja'a Muslimun, Muslimani.
Okay. But the translation is one Muslim came or two Muslims came.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now, both. So so all nouns all singular nouns, when they're in its original state, they take a dhamma tanween, correct? And
Right.
and when a verb comes, you after a verb, you always have a doer, fa'il. Doer, which is fa'il, and that's the reason why Muslimun is getting a dhamma tanween. Correct?
Right.
Like do you remember we did Kitabun Jamilun. Remember in book 1, we did Kitab Jamilun. And I said to yourself that whenever a noun comes in the beginning of a sentence, it takes a dhamma
Tanween.
tanween or a dhamma. Al-Kitabu Jamilun. Yes, clear?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So this is in regards to the singular nouns.
So that is its marfu form.
Jazakallah, sister. Thank you. So Muslimun and Muslimani is in its marfu state. Marfu state, okay? And
Okay.
and the alif and the noon, which is added with Muslimani, the alif and the noon together, both of them are sign of two things. One, it is a sign of dual, number one.
Dual.
Number two, it is a sign of marfu as well.
Oh, okay. So this
Then
noon, we should
how
not
we
be
can
confused.
recognize, then how we know that this is in marfu or this is in that form? You know, there are two things in the same shape, then how we can distinguish between those two?
Who is asking this question?
Mariam Taj.
MashaAllah, you've asked a very good question. Sister Fiza, you was going to say something?
Yeah, you just explained this. I think we should see
Listen,
that this is not like alif, like it's not for the musanna,
yeah.
this noon. This is because Muslimani is for males.
Yes, yeah. Okay.
So we can guess that this is in marfu form.
No,
He
no,
said the kasra will show it's in the original form, something like that.
both of alif and the noon together is showing that the verb, the dual itself, is in the original form. Alif and the noon with a kasra. Okay, hold on. Remember,
But
now,
this is different from the
verb.
verb.
Yes,
Yeah, this is for the noun.
yeah. Just hold on.
Okay.
Give me 2 minutes. Write this formula.
Maybe we will need a sentence to find that out because it will have a doer if it's a noun.
Yes, there will be a verb. Yes, that is correct. Write this. I'm gonna give you some formulas today, and inshallah, book 2 will become easy for you. كله فا-
Sure, inshallah.
كله فا- Just 1 second. فا- مرفوع. Is there anyone who speaks? Is everyone in the class able to write Urdu? Is
Yes,
there,
sir.
is there anyone who does not know
Yes.
Urdu text? Sister Farida, can you write Urdu as well?
No, I can't, Sheikh.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
وكله
I can read very simple, but simple Urdu.
وكله مفعول منصوب. Because I'm teaching Zakiras, so that's the reason why I'm teaching a bit more technical in the first instance. If it was like ordinary students in the class, I would have been a bit more easier with the actual content. Because I'm teaching, mashallah, people who are speakers, it's easier for them to absorb this information. Right. Let's
Sheikh, this is quite intensive.
don't worry.
You are teaching.
The reason why I'm teaching this is trying to prepare yourself to understand the Quran. If I don't teach you this now, I will have to teach you at a later stage. You got the recordings. I'll break this down. I'll repeat this several times. It's not as if I'm not going to repeat this again. I'm going to repeat this again in book 2 as well when we start lesson number 5 or 6, when we talk about jewels again.
I see. Okay. Yeah. We can hear the recording and understand.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Let's
Okay.
do this now.
Now I got it. Kullu fa'ilun marfu'un wa kullu maf'ulun mansubun.
Correct. What this means, kullu fa'ilin marfu'un. So marfu'un, I wrote the dhamma tanween, means that every doer will get a dhamma tanween. Every doer of a verb will get a dhamma tanween, and every object, maf'ul is an object of a verb, and every object of a verb will get mansub, means either a fatha tanween or a fatha, depending upon whether it's nakira or ma'rifa. Does everyone remember nakira and ma'rifa? Nakira means that a noun
Common noun. Common
Common
noun and
noun
proper noun.
and marifa is proper
Is
noun.
a proper noun.
it has alif lam, correct?
Yeah,
Yes,
alif
with
lam.
alif lam.
Okay. Now let me explain this, and then I'll tell you something else. Then, at the moment in Ja'a Muslimun or Ja'a Muslimani, a Muslim came or 2 Muslims came. Okay. Next example I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you an easy example, which will be easier for you to understand. Nadara. Nadara means he saw. Okay. Nadara. I'm going to say nadartu. Well, I like to use ra'a. Ra'a, ra'a yara. The verb is ra'aytu. I like to use that instead. Ra'aytu means I saw. The verb is ra'aytu. Ra'ayna is we saw. Ra'aytu is I saw. I'm going to write this down now, and then I will show and you will understand. Sister Shanazadi, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, can you read this example now?
Oh, which one?
On the chat, in the chat box in Zoom, it says Ra'aytu.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Ra'aytu Musliman, Muslimaini.
Correct. Ra'aytu Musliman or Ra'aytu Muslimaini. What's it? What's it? What's
And he saw Muslim and he saw Muslims.
yes? He saw. No. Ra'aytu means I saw. I saw one Muslim, or I saw two.
Two Muslims.
Okay. Now, what's the difference? What's the difference between Muslimani and Muslimaini?
Muslimaini is a alif and noon, and Muslimaini is adding meme, ya, and noon.
Correct. And Musliman?
Musliman is a 2 times meme.
No, Musliman. No, as a fatah tanween. Fatah tanween.
Yeah, fatah and tanween.
So here, can you see here in both of these examples, Ja'a Muslimani, Ra'aytu Muslimaini. In both of these cases, you still have the alif has changed to a ya.
Yeah, exactly. Alif changed to the ya.
So in the state of raf, in Muslimani is alif and noon with a kasra, but when it becomes an object, the alif changes to a ya and the noon.
Noon, yeah, ya and a noon.
So in both of these scenarios, there are two words together, either alif and noon with a kasra or ya and a noon with a kasra. Both of them together are the sign of dual. And now Muslimaini, as it's coming as the object, now the ya and the noon with a kasra together is the sign of mansub.
It's mansuba.
Yes. So the singular verb ra'aytu musliman, it takes a fatha tanween. But when you have a dual noun like muslimani, and muslimani is going to become the object of a verb, then the alif noon changes to ya.
Ya and noon.
Ya noon. And the ya noon together is the sign for two things. Number one, the sign of dual. Number two, the sign of being the maf'ul, the object of the verb, and the sign of it being the object of the verb, because it's a dual, it doesn't take a tanween. The alif and noon changing to ya and noon is a sign of being in the state of maf'ul and being mansub.
Yeah.
Who's got it and who's fallen asleep?
Yeah, I got it.
50-50. So like Muslimani or Muslimaini, it depends on the word before it.
Yes. Yes.
So it's like the difference between doer and object, right? So if it's a doer and dual, then it has a alif and noon, and if it's an object and so
Correct.
the alif noon changes to ya noon, right?
Yeah.
Correct. That is correct. So the point which I want to make from this is that the alif and the noon and the ya and the noon, both of them together is the sign of dual in both of these cases. Either alif noon with a kasra or the ya noon with kasra, they share something common. In both of these two scenarios, the ya and the noon or the alif and the noon is the sign of dual. And the alif noon here, in this scenario, ja'a muslimani, is the sign of marfu. In ra'aytu muslimaini, the ya and the noon is a sign of dual. And also the ya and the noon is a sign of mansub, being a object. So the noon, can you see in both of these scenarios, in being a marfu and mansub, the noon is remaining behind. The noon is staying, is not being omitted. Sister Batul, Sister
Yeah,
Faiza?
so we mean that alif and ya is important, not the noon, right? It just stays in both conditions, but alif and ya changes position, right?
Which means
Noon is for the female, right? Muslimaini.
no, one second. The ya and the noon, both of them are important with the nouns itself. They do not get omitted. They don't get removed. Like with the verbs, the noon gets omitted. Like you remember when we did the imperatives?
Yeah.
One second. Let me just show you that on the screen.
Maybe if you can tell us a sentence that will make more sense.
No, look at this here. Iftaha. So taftahu, the amr was iftah. Taftahani was iftaha. Remember I told you the noons are dropped?
Yeah, noon was
Yes.
dropped. Yeah, yes,
I
it's
remember it.
Now taftahuna, the amr is iftahu. The noon is dropped. Do you remember taftahina? This is both verb. And iftahi, the noon is dropped. Taftahani, the noon with the kasra is coming. And when we made the noon is dropped, iftaha. In taftahna, this noon is
It's plural feminine, that's why it does not drop in imperative. That's
Yeah.
what you told in the last lesson.
excellent. This is the point I wanted to mention and demonstrate to yourselves that the noon noon with a kasra, which comes in the dual with the verbs in the three different states of the verb, of the noun, the noon is not dropped in the dual. The noon is not dropped in the dual with the nouns in its three different states. But with the verbs, taftahu, that is the original verb. Now you will understand what I'm doing or what I'm trying to explain. Let me go to the other sheet. Let me go to this sheet. Let me make it bigger and you will understand now. In tansuru, tansurani, tansuruna, tansurina, tansurani, tansurna. This is fi'l mudari marfu, where it's in its original state, meaning that lam and lan is not proceeding, is not coming before the verb itself. Is this clear so far?
Yes.
Now, when we make the amr, as we said, what were the few? Okay, I'm going to ask. Who am I going to ask? Who is on the mic available? Sister Maryam Raj, can you come on the mic, please?
Yes.
Imperative amr. How do you make the amr? Step number one.
Step number one, we remove all the ta.
Correct.
And we put the sukun on the last letter.
Correct.
And step number two, we drop all the noon.
Correct.
And then in step number three, we drop and when we drop the noon, we insert the alif.
Correct.
In front of the waw to pronounce the plural masculine.
No, okay. So alif, yeah, but in the beginning, alif has been unmuted.
Yes.
So and what will be the harakat of the alif, the hamzatul wasl?
The middle letter of the three letters, whatever the harakat is on the middle letter is gonna, the hamzatul wasl get that harakat. If it's dhamma, it will get dhamma. If it's kasra, it will kasra. but it will never get fatha.
Correct. Now, the main point which I wanted to show by giving the example of Ja'a Muslimani, Ra'aytu Muslimani, Ja'a Muslimun or Ja'a Muslimani. Here, the word Muslimun or Muslimani is coming as the fa'il. So the alif and the noon together is coming and is in the state of marfu. But when you say Ra'aytu Muslimaini, I saw two Muslim men, it's the object, it's in the state of mansoob, and the noon still remains with it. So alif and noon and the ya and noon stay with the nouns, remain with the nouns, regardless of whichever three situation the noun comes. But with the verbs, when the verb is in its original state, the nouns remain, they come, because it symbolizes the verb is in its original state. Like as I showed you, yadribu, yadribani, yadribuna, tadribu, yadribani, yadribna, tadribu, tadribani, tadribuna, tadribina, tadribani, adribu, nadribu. Now, Sister Fizza, Bismillah. Sister Fizza, you're going quiet. If you're going quiet, what's going to happen to the rest of the class? Unmute yourself.
Yes, sorry. Yes, what did you ask me?
Now, idrib. So when we make the imperatives, the last letter is given a sukun. Remember we said that last week?
Yeah.
And because and we said this is because and idriba, and we spoke about why the noons are dropped in the imperative. Remember?
Yes. The noons are dropped and the harkat is changed, and we added alif in the beginning.
Exactly. Now, like in the tadribu. Now listen to this carefully. Like in tadribu, in the singulars you have the dhamma, and in the duals you have the noon with the kasra and the noon with the fatha, to demonstrate that the verb is in its original tense, in its original form. Now,
Marfu.
Marfu. Now in idrib, it's a present tense verb, but it's an amr. In the singular you have the sukun. Correct?
Right.
The dropping of the noon with a kasra and the noon with a fatha and the noon here and the noon here, dropping this noon is demonstrating that the verb is in the state of majzoom, because the singular verb of the amr came with a sukun. To demonstrate that, you drop the noons to show that it is halatul majzoom.
Now it is in halate majzoom, and it's now changed to imperative.
Exactly. Is this clear?
Positive imperative.
Yes.
Yes, it is clear.
Is this clear for everyone now?
And imperative means amr, right?
Imperative means amr.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Got it.
Order. Earlier, we order something. Uktub, idrib, idriba.
Okay.
Hukum dena, order karna.
Absolutely right.
Imperative. Yeah.
Imperative, order. Hukum dena kisi dusre ko.
And this is only can happen in mukhatib. Mukhatib muzakkar and mukhatib muannas.
Yeah.
Not in a ghaib.
You can do ghaib. I'll teach you that later.
But it's not explained here in this.
Yeah. I'm not going to do this now. Okay. Now.
Yeah, because I was also confused, because in Quran, Allah is giving orders for the ghaib people too.
Yes.
So there should be a ghaib too. Yeah.
There is an order for ghaib that I'll teach you that later. But I just need to.
Sure. Inshallah.
Now, as you know, that the amr is that making the singular sukun and dropping the noon with a kasra and noon with fatha there. Now,
Mhm.
this belongs, Amr belongs to the same family of Lam. So, and Lam, both of them, these category is the same, meaning that they do the same action to the verb at the ending. At the ending, they do the same action, meaning if you look at idrib, when lam comes in front of the present tense, the only difference is that when you make the amr, you have the alif in the beginning.
Mhm.
But
Yes.
when lam comes, the
Big
ta's in the beginning,
Agar we said Hamzatul Wasal, this Amr?
yes, this is called Hamzatul Wasl.
Okay.
So when lam comes, idrib, the ba gets a sukoon. Idriba, the noon is dropped at the end. Lam tadriba, the noon is dropped. In idribu, the noon is dropped. Lam tadribu, the noon is dropped. In idribi, noon is dropped. Lam tadribi, noon is dropped. Idriba, noon is dropped. Originally it was tadribani, became idriba, and when lam comes, tadriba. Tadribna, alif ta is dropped, becomes idribna, lam tadribna. Is that clear now?
Yes, it is clear, but like, is it so? Because like, it's also like something like a command, like don't do this, lam.
No. It's just a ruling that they give the fi'l mudari in the state and make it in the state of majzoom. And lam it means negative, past negative. Lam tadrib, you did not hit.
Yeah.
It's
So,
past negative.
so
Okay.
Mazare and Lam has the same state, like Tazribna, and then Lam is also Tazribna.
Exactly, meaning that it makes the present tense verb in the state of sukoon, that the singular verb gets a sukoon, and the dual and the plurals, the noons are dropped.
Okay.
Okay, Mariam? Yes, is that clear now?
Yes.
Sister Fizza?
Agar the imperative is also a positive and a negative too, right?
There's positive and negative too as well. Correct. So,
But this is not imperative. Didn't do is
past.
past. Yeah, it's not imperative. So, but it has. Now you explain the ruling, which is similarities between this lam and the mazare.
Yes.
So
Is it
by
sure?
positive imperative, you mean that do this, and by negative imperative, you mean don't do this?
Don't do
Yes.
it.
Don't do. Yeah, la and nahiya.
Okay. Well, mashallah, because you students asked so many questions, I might as well mention it. Can you see this category? Al-Majzoom.
Yes.
Yes.
Al-Majzoom.
Majzoom. Now, like lam, it makes the present tense into Majzoom, correct? Listening?
Right.
Like lam, when lam comes, it makes the present tense into Majzoom, meaning yadribu becomes yadrib.
Yadrib. Yeah.
And
With jazm.
go for them, Sister Fizza. Lam yadrib.
Yadriba.
Yep.
Yadribu.
Yep.
Tadrib.
Sister Fizza, say it with lam. Lam tadrib.
Lam tadrib. Yeah, ba has sukoon. It's majzoom. So lam yadriba. Lam yadribna.
Correct.
Lam tadrib. Lam tadriba. Lam tadribu. Lam tadribi. Lam tadriba. Lam tadribna. Lam adrib. Lam nadrib.
Is this clear?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, Sister Shanaz, you ask the question, and I'm going to ask you to come forward and tell, and you will explain to the class now. Now, as you can see, that over here, al-majzoom is covering 3 different categories. Did not do, don't do, and must do. Okay. Now I'm going to teach you within 1 minute or 2 minutes how to make negative command. Negative command is exactly the same as the rule. It does. So the negative command has 14 forms. Number one, the negative command has 14 forms, and the ruling of lam in regards to the singular gets a sukoon, and the dual and the plural, the nouns are dropped, is exactly the same. The only thing you need to do is add la in the beginning. So as you can see the arrows pointing backwards, it means yadrib should come with la yadrib. When you see la yadrib, it means he should not hit. La, so lam yadriba, instead of lam, add la. La yadriba means they both should not hit. If you say la yadribu, they both should not hit. And la tadrib, she should not hit. La tadrib, la, there's a mistake here. There should be yeah, la tadriba should be this. They put a ya there. It shouldn't be a ya, it should be a ta. La tadriba, they both females should not hit, and then la tadribna. Is this clear?
Yeah.
Sister Elia?
Yes, it's clear. Alhamdulillah. Thank you.
So you just, instead of having lam, you just put la in front, and it gives the meaning of don't do. He should not hit. They both should not hit. So Sister Shiraz, can you do all of the 14 now with la?
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لا يضرب، لا يضرب، لا يضرب، لا تضرب، لا تضرب، تضرب، لا تضربنا.
La yadribna.
Okay, you said this is a tha?
You know, the first two, la tadrib, la tadriba, but the plural feminine is la yadribna. That's correct.
Okay. sorry. لا يضربنا، لا يضرب، لا تضرب، لا تضرب، لا تضربي، لا تضرب، لا تضربنا، لا أضرب،
La
لا
adrib,
نضرب،
la adrib.
لا أضرب، لا نضرب.
Is this clear now for everyone?
Yeah.
Farida?
Alhamdulillah.
Sister Farida?
Yeah, Sheikh. Yeah. Yeah, I'm understanding now. Yeah. Thank
Good.
you. Thank you.
Is Narjit there as well? No, she's not here. Okay. Right. Okay, that's done. What else we need to do? That's fine. Any questions from anyone?
Yes, Sheikh. I
Yeah.
have one question.
Go ahead.
If this, lam amr and lam nahya and lam all are the same one, that must do, don't do,
Yep.
then when we are translating it, how we're gonna know that this should be the meaning, or if all have the same meaning?
They don't have the same meaning. So lam means when lam comes, lam yadrib, means he did not do in the past tense. He did not do, that's past tense. So when lam comes, it gives the meaning of past. He did not do. And lam,
Okay.
he should not do, or he will not do.
Do.
It's
Okay.
for future and present. Got it? And the amr, lamul amr, he should go. He should go. Here is he should not go, and he should go. Lamul amr.
Lam Amr is in a positive sense?
Yes, he should. Positive.
Okay.
So we
Okay.
just say la yadrib, la
No.
yadriba. We do it like this.
No. Lamul amr is li. Lam with the
Okay. Yadrib. Okay.
So it will literally be liyad. So it's in the same category of majzoom. It'll be liyadrib, liyadriba, liyadribu. Litadrib, the lam, the kasra is joined with the ta. Litadrib,
Right.
litadriba, liyadribna. Litadrib, litadriba, litadribu. So, no, my mistake. For the second mukhatab, for these 6, it doesn't come.
So,
Because
but
Okay.
we can say that lam is not actually imperative, right? It's just informing us, whereas the la and the li ones, that the don't do and must do, are imperative, right?
no. Uh, the imperative is only amr. Idrib, hit. Hit is an order. When you order someone, this is an imperative. And also
Yeah, so
the
that's what I'm saying. Like in Majzoom, the right two columns that don't do, must do are the amrs, but did not do with lam is not an amr, right?
with a lam is not an amr. With
Yeah.
lam
Okay.
here and lam al amr is orders as well. One is a positive order and the other is
Yes.
a negative order. Correct.
Yeah, that's what I was trying.
Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
that's
Thank you.
correct. So the yeah. Go ahead, Sister Nas.
and lam is used for the past,
Yeah, so
and
lam
la
comes
is for the present.
lam, it joins the present tense verb, lam yadrib. It changes the present tense meaning from present to past tense.
Okay.
And
And how to pronounce this one? The lam amr, lam alif lam,
lamul amr.
lamul amr.
Amr. Yeah, lamul amr. It's only for
Lamul.
the 6 forms. It only comes for 6 forms for the third person.
Okay.
ليضرب ليضربا ليضربوا لتضرب لتضربا ليضربنا.
Okay. Thank you.
And for متكلم as well. لأضرب لنضرب. That's it. It does not come for the second person. For the second person, it comes with alif in the beginning. اضرب اضربا اضربوا اضربي اضربا اضربنا.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so you're saying that with the lam, that is it take into the meaning of the past. If we put the lam in front of that word,
Correct.
like the one in the Quran, like alam ta'alam. So it means it was like it was in the past.
ألم تعلم أن
Yes.
قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد. He did not give birth to anyone.
Okay, so
ولم
it was
يلد.
past.
Did
Okay,
you?
thank you.
Okay, brilliant. Any question from anyone? Any questions?
No.
Okay, I'm going to ask everyone on the mic now because quietness is not a good sign. Sister Fizba, can you come on the mic? No, sorry, not Sister Fizba, Sister Batul.
Okay.
Okay. How would you make the Amr of Fataha Yaftahu? What would be the Amr? How do you make? Give me the Amrs, please. How do you say open? How do you say open to someone?
So I just repeat these, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
It will taftahu will be iftah, taftahani will be iftaha, taftahuna will be iftahu, taftahina will be iftahi, taftahani will be iftaha, taftahna will be iftahna.
Correct. And if you wanted to say, he did not open the 14 forms, how would you say that?
Okay, so lam yaftah, lam yaftaha, lam yaftahu, lam taftah, lam taftaha, lam yaftahna, lam taftah, lam taftaha, lam taftahu, lam taftahi, lam taftaha, lam taftahna, lam aftah, lam naftah.
Excellent. Is that clear?
Yes. Thank you. Yes, it is.
Brilliant. Next one, sister. Earlier.
Yes.
Alima ya'lamu amr.
Okay. تعلم اعلم تعلماني اعلما تعلمون اعلموا تعلمين اعلمي
Ta'lamina.
تعلمين تعلمين اعلمي تعلمان اعلما تعلمنا اعلمنا.
And what will be the Sister Batul did lam. I want you to say la. He did
Okay.
not. He should not. He should not know.
We should not know. Okay.
La.
لا okay. لا يعلم لا يعلم لا يعلم لا تعلم لا تعلم لا يعلمنا. In this one is correct. It's a ta. لا تعلم لا تعلم لا تعلم لا تعلمي لا تعلم لا تعلمنا لا أعلم لا نعلم.
Is this clear now for everyone?
Yes, Jazakallah.
Yeah.
Sister Fizza, is that clear for you as well now?
Yes, yes, yes. Alhamdulillah.
It was
Sister
already
Fizza
clear
looks
for
busy.
her.
No, no. But it will be more clear when we will recite Quran and more examples from the book, inshallah.
Yeah, so what you need to do is that if you go to the Quran, now I've taught you now, I want you to give me 5 examples or 10 examples for lam, lan, and la, and lamul amr. Go for the Quran and then send it across to me. I'll correct it if you made any mistakes. Okay?
Right now,
Can
or
you
it
please
is our
also-
homework?
Homework, do that homework.
Can you
So
please
Homework
post
is how many
the-
examples? Can you please post it at the group?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that.
Yes, thank
Okay.
you.
That would be great, inshallah.
I'm only going to take 5 minutes more of your time, and then I'll end the class. No longer than that. I just need to now. One thing I need to finish this off because otherwise I'm going to prolong book too long. Right now, the other thing I need to do today is this: is that we concentrated before on the 3-letter verbs, kataba, alima, daraba, and so forth. Now I need to move on to a 4-letter verb. Now the 4-letter verbs, we've added an alif. We've added a alif to karuma. Original verb was karuma, and we added an alif, akrama, to change the meaning. So karuma was he became respected or he became honorable. Now when you add an alif to akrama, it means that he gave respect to someone. So normally when you add an alif to a 3-letter verb, it gives the meaning of causative, causing something, doing thing upon someone else. So akrama, he gave respect to someone. So you add a alif, and this alif is making the verb now into a 4-letter verb. And any 3-letter verb which is added to this pattern, it gives the meaning of doing or causing. Okay. Now I want Sister Asma. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Asma Raza. Are you available? Okay, she's not available. Let's then bring.
One quick question. So the meaning of akrama will be
He gave respect.
he gave respect.
Yeah, he gave respect to someone.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
And then as they 2 people gave respect.
Yeah, correct.
And akramu, all of them gave respect.
Correct. Can you, as you're on the mic, can you do the past tense, akrama? Go ahead.
Yes. Huwa akrama, huma akrama, hum akramu, hiya akramat, huma akramata, hunna akramna, anta akramta, antuma akramtuma, antum akramtum, anti akramti, antuma akramtuma, antunna akramtunna, ana akramtu, nahnu akramna.
Excellent. Now the present tense of this four-letter verb is akrama yukremo. Yukremo. So remember this point. The only way to because you look at it, the alif has been dropped now. So by looking at the present tense, there is only two ways to distinguish or differentiate between this being a four-letter verb from yukremo or being from a three-letter verb. The only two tips is this. In the three-letter verbs which you did before was kataba yaktubu, daraba yadribu, fataha yaftahu. All of them, the yas had a fatah in the three-letter verbs we did before. In the four-letter verb is that the ya will come here with a dhamma and the middle letter will come with a
Sukun.
kasra.
Oh,
Kasra.
These two things together, whenever they are together, you will know immediately from the
It's a
present. This is a four-letter
four-letter word.
Correct.
Yes.
So this is the sign that this is present tense.
Present tense for a four-letter verb.
So the
Present
dhamma on
tense
the
for
first
four
word,
letters.
the kasra on the third word,
Yeah, on the middle letter.
on the middle letter.
Yeah.
Okay. But the first one should have the dhamma. Okay.
Correct. So,
All the time when there's a future or a present tense,
Yeah.
all the time the verb is starting from ya, ta, alif, and noon, right? And the secret word is zatan.
yes, atain. Alif, ta, ya, nun. Yes, these are the
atain.
which come in the beginning. Alif, ta, ya, nun.
Yeah, exactly. Atain.
Correct. So, Sister Fizza, can you do the Yukrimo, all the 14 for the present tense? And then I'll move on to one more because I know you may have programs today in America. So that's the reason why I'm going to finish the class early. Or not early.
Sure.
Go ahead. Yukrimo.
So, huwa yukrimu, huma yukrimani, hum yukrimuna, hiya tukrimu, huma tukrimani, hunna yukrimna, anta tukrimu, antuma tukrimani, antum tukrimuna, anti tukrimina, antuma tukrimani, antunna tukrimna, ana ukrimu, nahnu nukrimu.
Excellent.
Thank you.
And now, one final thing before I finish this chapter is that when you make the amr for a four-letter verb, you remove the ta.
Right.
Once you remove the ta, you make the singular with a sukoon, to drop the noons.
Right.
That is dropped. Now, in this here, as in the past tense, you had an alif with a fatha. That is brought back in the amr. The alif with the fatha comes back in the amr. This is the only amr which comes with a fatha. So the amr will be akrim, akrima, akrimu, akrimin, akrima, akrimna.
Oh, that is why it is not the hamzatul wasl.
It's
Otherwise, it has to be the same harkat as the middle letter.
Hamzatul wasl.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is the
It's
reason.
not hamzatul wasl.
It's not
No, because last time you told in the three-letter word when we make imperative, we should not put fatha, but in the four-letter word we can able to put fatha.
That's the difference.
So it's the opposite. Like in this one, we are putting the fatha, and in the three-letter one, we had the dhamma. But when it comes to that, the yukrimani,
or kasra.
okay, we are putting
and
the other.
Also, in the famous dua of Mahi Ramzan, Allahumma adkhil.
على
Dakhala,
أهل القبور السرور.
dakhala means he entered. Adkhil, it means to, sorry, dakhala, he entered. Adkhil, cause to enter. Make entry.
Make entry. Oh Allah, please make us enter.
Yeah. And you know there's اللهم أخرجني من الظلمات وأدخلني في النور.
So it means adkhal. When you're saying adkhal, so it means it's a 4-letter word, right?
Correct.
So it's not dakhila, it's
letter
from
Amr.
adkhil. Okay.
Dakhala is 3-letter.
Dakhala is 3-letter word.
Correct.
Then
Dakhala is 3-letter, and udkhul means to enter, and adkhil means you're asking that make entry into something. Cause entry. Got it?
Yes, you said the alif is the causing.
For example, I'll give you an example. हम अल्फाज इस्तेमाल करते हैं इदखाल and ikhraj.
Yes.
Idkhal means entry, insert. Ikhraj means to remove.
yeah.
Okay, so that is the difference between the difference between a 3-letter verb and a 4-letter verb itself.
तो अगर ये हमज़तुल वसल नहीं होगी, अलिफ होगा फिर.
Yeah, exactly. This is not hamzatul wasl, it's hamzatul qat. This will be pronounced wherever it comes. Middle of the sentence, beginning of the sentence, end of the sentence is always pronounced. Whereas hamzatul wasl, when it comes to the beginning of the sentence, you read it, but when it comes to the middle of a sentence, the alif becomes silent and you join it on.
Yeah.
So I have a question. So when you're saying like it's a 4-letter word, but when we say adkhil, so adkhil comes from the root word dakhala, right?
Correct?
So it's a 3-letter word.
No. Thank you for saying that. So dakhala yadkhulu, that is the core root original word dakhala. So dakhala yadkhulu's amr is udkhul. Now for this verb here, adkhala, originally was dakhala, a root word. We have changed it and added additional letter, made it into mazid fi. Mazid means extra, fihi means to the verb. Now the verb pattern now and the root word will change now. The adkhala yudkhilu idkhal. So idkhal now becomes the root word for this pattern. So when you add additional letters, the root word changes for the different patterns of the verbs itself. Is that clear?
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is just like akrim, akrima here.
Yeah.
Just like akrama, adkhala.
Yeah. Ikram, ishraf.
Right.
Okay.
So alif is like
Ansar.
Ilya, alif is the part of the verb now.
Exactly.
It's not any it's not
So
dakhala
the root
anymore.
word
It's
is something
adkhala.
different and the word is something different. Got it.
Yeah, verb is different than root word. Root word is dakhala and adkhala is the verb.
Like just like okay.
Right.
Just like akrama here.
Yeah.
I'm going to quickly go for sister. Before I end the class, I just want you to read this, and then I'll go through this next week with you. Sister Shanaz, can you do the past tense, and Sister Elio do the present tense. Ahabba. Now, ahabba is a 4-letter verb, but the only thing is that it has a shadda now on the last letter. Sister Shanaz, bismillah, quickly.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بجد ما هو أحب هما أحب. Sorry.
Ahabba, huwa ahabba. Ahabba means he liked, and yuhibbu he is liking. Go ahead.
هو أحب هما أحب هم أحبوا هي أحبت هما أحبتا هن أحببنا
So what happens? In the sixth form, the shadda is always removed. Like akrama, akrama, akramu, akramat, akramata, akramna. It goes back to the original pattern because now it has a shadda, but the sixth form, it always reverts back to the original pattern, which is akramna. So the shadda is removed, the 2 bar becomes separate, the second bar, the sukoon is put on there, becomes ahbabna. And from this, From this onwards, it remains always ahbabta and so forth. Continue.
Anta ahbabta, antuma ahbabtuma, antum ahbabtum, anti ahbabti, antuma
Ahbabti.
ahbabti, antuma ahbabtuma, antunna ahbabtunna, ana ahbabtu, nahnu ahbabna.
Excellent. Sister Fizza, sorry, Sister Elia, present tense,
Yes.
yuhibbu.
Bismillah. Huwa yuhibbu, huma yuhibbani, hum yuhibbuna, hiya tuhibbu, huma tuhibbani, hunna yuhibna, anta tuhibbu, antuma tuhibbani, antum tuhibbuna, anti tuhibbina, antuma tuhibbani, antunna tuhibbna, ana uhibbu, nahnu nuhibbu.
Excellent. And Sister Batul, Amar. Ahbib as Akram. The shadda is removed. Or it could be Ahibba or Ahbib. Both of them are correct.
Okay.
Ahbib.
Ahbib, ahibba, ahibbu, ahibbi, ahibba, ahbibna.
Excellent. That's it. So if you could practice this and write this out as well in your own handwriting, past, present, and imperative, and give me 10 examples of la, lam, and amr from the Quran, that would be great. Okay?
Sure, inshallah, inshallah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Jazakallah.
Jazakallah.
Jazakallah, Sheikh.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin.
التماس
Masidwa.
أنا
Mutazid, inshallah.